And welcome to Part-Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. And today is a very special episode. You get just me. No co-host today. I'm Ryan solo. Two, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's right. Venom, Let There Be Carnage just came out this last weekend after they bumped it up. After the success of Shang-Chi that Shang-Chi had last month. Now we've got Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Been super excited about this movie coming out. Before I get into it, guys, let me just tell you spoilers ahead. I'm going to be talking all about the movie, things that happen. I'm going to be talking about that post credit scene. Let me tell you, that post credit scene was awesome. So if you haven't watched Venom yet and you don't want any spoilers, just hit the like button, come back later and watch the video. Uh, but if you have seen it, or you just don't care about spoilers and you just want to watch the video and just enjoy it, cool. Welcome. All right, so let's get into it. Initial thoughts on this. It was okay. I was let down by it. I did like it, but it wasn't like I love Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was an amazing movie. This was just a okay movie. It wasn't an awful movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It was just hmm, it was a movie. Um, but it felt like one. It was you only had an hour and a half runtime on it, and it feel like they really rushed the movie. They just kind of rushed to get to the the climax, the Venom versus Carnage, the big showdown. Like you really rushed to get to that. Um, Two, it felt like it was like a rom com. Like legit felt like that with Venom and Eddie and just their relationship. I mean, you have it all, right? They're fighting, they're arguing. Uh, they can't get on the same page. They split up. Then they are away from each other, and they realize I need him. I They need each other. They really realize that, and then you have the reunion, and they get back together, and it was very rom-commy. Um, Maybe too much comedy with it. I I grew up with Venom as like the one of the ultimate villains in the Marvel universe, right? You have him and just everything between him and Spider-Man, and it feels like when you're introducing Venom into all this and you don't have Spider-Man in it and that kind of that hatred that he has for him, it's just different. And this really takes Venom straight to being a good guy with the first one and with this one. And I know he's become an anti-hero now in the Marvel universe, and he's kind of had that full circle redemption with it. But y- you just start out with that in the movies. I want a darker Venom, and we might get a little bit of it, but we're not gonna get it the way that I would want it. Um, but it is what it is, right? And the reason why you're not gonna get that is because if you saw that post credit scene, you know what I'm talking. Well, hopefully you stayed and watched the post credit scene. We'll get into that in a little bit, but and then also just with everything with Carnage, I wanted more Carnage. I wanted now the scenes that he's in are awesome. The way he looked, I thought Carnage looked awesome. I just kind of wanted more. I feel like then you've got the relationship between him and Shriek. That's really just kind of pushed to the forefront with everything. Uh, and then you have the two of them, Cletus and the Carnage symbiote fighting with each other because of her, and it's just I don't know. And then there were just some things that they just didn't. Maybe a more of an explanation would help with things, like when Venom comes to face Carnage, and you're getting ready to have the big showdown, and he changes, Cletus changes into Carnage, and he's like, "Oh crap!" and he backs out, and he's like, "I'm not doing this. That's a red one. This is different. I didn't know this is what we were getting into." What makes the red one so different, so special that you're like, "I'm out," right? because it didn't take much for Eddie to talk Venom into coming back out. But the whole time he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna die," Venom saying that. But yeah, I mean, and because it's not like there was this big, "Oh, this is a red one. This is this, and this. Well, we've got to do this." You have that, that back and forth on that. It was just, "This is a red one. Oh no, we're not doing this." He's like, "Well, I'll let you eat them when we're done." He's like, "Okay, I'm it." It's very little convincing. Um, to which tells me that, well, maybe it's not just so different. Maybe it's just all red and red, whatever. But I mean, all in all, I don't get me wrong. I enjoyed going to the movie. I enjoyed watching it. I love getting back to the theaters. Getting back into the theaters is awesome. I've definitely enjoyed getting back into the theaters, especially when you have a post-credit scene like you have, and you get that audience reaction, because that's what you got with this. You get this big audience reaction because, and I'm just gonna, I've kind of talked about the movie a little bit of my thoughts. It was good, expected better. Um, would have liked more of Carnage, more of less of the rom-com type thing you're getting with Eddie and Venom, um, and just not rush. It just felt like, you're just pushing everything towards this last scene, and you weren't setting anything up. I didn't feel. Now you did have awesome scenes with Carnage, like when he goes and when he's in the jail. When he first makes his appearance, Carnage, and he's mowing through the jail. That was awesome. When he's rescue Shriek and they're escaping, that was cool. Seeing him go through and do all of that. That was awesome. I wanted more. Let there be carnage. Let's get some carnage. Let's push the envelope. Let's get to that R rating. I don't know. But again, I enjoyed it. But I think the best part of the entire movie, and what I'm super excited about, is that post credit scene. So you go through everything. They defeat Carnage. Venom ends up eating the Carnage symbiote. Oh, that tasted disgusting. They bites off Cletus's head. They've got to get out of there because he's a person of interest with everything going on, right? So he gets out of there, and they go to what I would like to think was Venom Island, because they're at an island. Um, and if you know anything about Venom Island, so Venom Island first showed up in the '90s, and that's where Venom took Spider-Man to kill him. Uh, and then Spider-Man fakes his death, and Venom lives out a good portion of his days there before he makes a return. And then Venom Island showed back up again in the Absolute Carnage run that just happened, which was great from Donny Cates. And you have Venom facing off with Carnage out there, and it was awesome. Um, but so you have that and a little tease, but then they're in a resort there, a crappy one, and they're watching telenovelas, and Venom's talking to Eddie about the hive mind and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, where are we going? Like, because everything I heard was this post credit scene was awesome, and you start talking about the hive mind, and the history of the symbiotes. I'm thinking, are we getting Null? Which would be, oh, I love Null. Null's great. He was the big bad throughout the Absolute Carnage run, and maybe we're gonna get Null. That's not what we get, but what we get, I feel like was was better. It was Eddie's telling, or Venom's telling Eddie, I'm gonna show you a taste of what the hive mind is, what's going on, because you can't fathom it. I'm just gonna give you a little taste." And as he goes to do this everything changes. The screen goes wonky, everything kind of goes blurry. Then all of a sudden things transform and they're somewhere else. And Eddie and Venom are freaking out. "What's going on? What'd you do? What'd you do? This wasn't me. What's that?" It's a goose towel, a towel folded into a goose. And then you have on the TV, you hear J. Jonah Jameson. Bam! You hear him, and he's ranting and raving. He's talking about Spider-Man and Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and they're showing him on the screen. And Venom comes out, and he's like, "He looks tasty." And bam, Venom is now in the 616 in the MCU. this is multiverse of madness right here. Like this is what everything is building towards. This is what we're getting with Spider-Man No Way Home. This is what we're getting with Doctor Strange 2. This is what we was all set up in with WandaVision and Loki. And I gotta feel so when Doctor Strange does his thing, I think that's bringing Venom there into that universe, and bam, he's gonna be there. And I is he gonna show up in No Way Home? I kinda hope he doesn't. Um, Maybe like a post-credit scene, I'll take that, because you're already getting the Sinister Six. You've got Doc Ock, you're getting Electro, you're getting so much. You're possibly getting, I mean, everything you see is more and more, yeah, we're getting Toby and we're getting Andrew. We're getting their versions of Spider-Man in this. This is gonna be a live action Enter the Spider-Verse type movie. So but now Venom is there, and it's already been said that in 3, Spider-Man and Venom are gonna be facing off. So maybe I'm gonna get that darker Venom that I really like, that I really want from my childhood, from when Venom was first introduced. I don't know. Um, I'll be curious to see kinda how they build that hatred, because the whole hatred is Eddie always blamed Peter for him being fired, and then the Venom symbiote was mad at Peter because he rejected him and he got rid of him. So you have the two of them with all that hatred towards him. So I'll be curious to see what the storyline is going to be like with that. But I'm super excited that they made the jump. They brought him in there, and when they showed that on the screen, when Jay Jonah started talking and he starts talking Spider Man, the crowd erupted. They were so excited. I was excited. I was jacked. My kid that was with me was excited. She was like, "Spider-Man, this, yeah," and she has no idea. Like, she doesn't know the whole history of Spider-Man and Venom and things like that. So, but yeah, that post-credit scene just really got me excited. Left the theater jacked up, despite everything that happened in the movie and how I was kinda let down. That post-credit scene redeemed everything with that movie, and it was awesome. I love that post-credit scene. It's one of my favorite post-credit scenes in the Marvel Universe because of the connection and what it's bringing together. So I'm super excited about that, guys. As well as, Shriek's not dead. She got captured in a, um, under the bell. Uh, Mulligan, you're gonna have more stuff with him. Looks like maybe he's got a symbiote inside of him. So I'm excited for the future, just kind of a little bit let down. Um, but hey, it was a good movie. I'm excited to have movies back in the theaters. I did enjoy it, just a little bit let down. So that's all I got for you guys today on this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. If there's anything you want me to watch and you want me to review, we're going through a bunch of old animated Batman movies. I'm doing the Harry Potter movies for the first time. I've never seen them, and I'm starting to go through those. Um, all kinds of stuff we're watching. I got Turtle Tuesdays where me and a couple buddies, Peasy and iLogical Mr. Francis, we were going through and rewatching all the Ninja Turtle movies, reviewing them and ranking them. But if you have any other recommendation, guys, just shoot me an email, parttimenerdpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, deuces.